You mind? Hailie Deegan will make her Truck Series debut next season, and NASCAR has a brand new team coming next year. Yo, what is up everyone, my name is Jeff Krause and welcome back to the episode of Inside the Lines. Guys, before we jump into it, we have reached 4,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and earlier today we hit it. Thank you so much for all the support you're giving me. To the new subscribers I've joined into, the ones that have been there since the very beginning. I honestly did not expect to even reach more than 2,000 subscribers, and then we hit 3,000 a few months ago and now 4,000 in the same year. The growth on this channel has been absolutely incredible, and again, just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and really happy that for you guys to support a small channel like me. I mean, there are other YouTubers for you guys to go out and check out for motorsports content, but for some reason you guys chose me to entertain you guys in the world of motorsports. So again, thank you. I'm not good at thank yous or apologies or anything like that, so that's the best I could do. But now let's move on to our two stories. The first one revolves around Hailie Deegan. She will be making her Truck Series debut next weekend at Kansas for DGR Crossley Racing. Now this has been speculated for a while now. We've been wondering ever since she really signed her deal to join the ARCA Racing or the ARCA Menard Series this season. A lot of us are speculating when she will make her Truck Series debut. A lot of us speculated either this season or beginning next season. Well, now it's been confirmed. Next weekend she will race in the trucks next weekend at Kansas. Now what's interesting about this is that she's going to run double duty because that same weekend is the ARCA Menard Series season finale. Now, there's only two drivers that are going to be in contention for the championship next weekend, and that is Brett Holmes and the 25 car Michael Self. Brett Holmes has an 8-point gap ahead of Michael Self. Hailie Deegan is third in standings, but she's 61 points back, so she's not going to have any shot at competing for a championship. And if we look at her stats, through 19 races, even though she has not won a race, she has had 4 top 5 finishes, 16 top 10s, led to 86 laps, an average start of 5.8, and an average finish of 7.4. Now, on paper, it looks like, hey, this is a pretty good season, until you then realize that only 4 drivers have started every single race. Brett Holmes, Michael Self, Hailie Deegan, and Drew Dollar. And also, consider the fact that Ty Gibbs, who I think is also a rookie, 5th in standings, 6 wins, didn't even run the full season. He has run only 15 races, 6 wins, 12 top 5 finishes. So on paper it looks good, Hailie Deegan season, but when you also compare to the fact that the ARCA Menard Series as of late has gone downhill tremendously in terms of competition, saying you did well in the ARCA Menard Series is about that much. It means that much. It still means something, but that much. Now, say what you want about Hailie Deegan in terms of what happened off the racetrack, in terms of things that she has said. I'm not going to dive into that. I'm just going to focus on her on-track performance. She is still one of the biggest faces in NASCAR right now. I will admit her hotness has gone down just a little bit. I realize how wrong that sounded. That could be taken out of context really bad. Please don't take this out of context. Let me redo that. Now, when I mean by her hotness, I mean her trending in terms of, if you look back at Daytona, it was all Hailie Deegan, all talk, all the time. And now it's sort of died down a little bit. She's not being talked about as much. And if so, not in a positive light. But still, she's still one of the biggest faces and superstars in NASCAR today. So there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on her when she makes her Truck Series debut. All in all, I just think if she just needs to log laps, if she can just log some laps, finish on the lead lap, get into no trouble, just run her race, I think she'll be just fine. There is that possibility she could have an incredible car and be up front and be competitive. We have seen that before. DGR Crossley has gone to victory lane in the past. You look at last year, they won with Tyler Ankrum at Kentucky. So they're not foreign to success. They have shown speed in their trucks all season. And so I won't be surprised if I see Hailie Deegan show some speed, if she's in the top 10 or even in the top 8. I won't be surprised, but I just expect her to just run her own race, log some laps, finish on the lead lap, and have a good run. If she can do that, that'll be fine. And finally, let's talk about a new Cup Series team coming to NASCAR in 2021. Now, this is not necessarily shocking news because we have known about this for a few months now, and that is Team Trackhouse, a team that is going to be owned by Justin Marks, a former NASCAR driver himself. We have known about this for a while now. Unfortunately, with all the news with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Leave My Family Racing, and all the stuff that has piled on these past few weeks, everyone has sort of forgotten about Justin Marks' new team. Well, today they made an announcement. They have announced their car, manufacturer, number, and their driver. And a very cool video posted across social media today. They announced that they will be driving the number 99 Trackhouse Camaro ZL1, with their driver being Monterrey, Mexico's Daniel Suarez. Remember, Suarez is a free agent. He said he would be leaving Gun Brothers Racing at the end of the season. I speculated at first that potentially we could see him go to maybe Richard Petty Motorsports because there were rumors going around about Toyota and Richard Petty teaming up. But I'll be honest, I am kind of surprised that Suarez went with this direction, especially with a brand new team. Now, I know, we talk about with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, how they have the potential to be a big-time team. But that's because you look at the names that are involved. You take a look at Team Trackhouse, is Justin Marks and Ty Norris, who is going to be running the operations. Now, Ty Norris, he has had experience in NASCAR ownership. He was with Dale Earnhardt Incorporated in its early years, and then was at Michael Waltrip Racing. Those two have had success under Ty Norris's watch, so it's not necessarily a bad move, but when you take a look at big names, Team Trackhouse doesn't really have that. I will say, though, their paint scheme, though, they look good. And of course, their paint scheme looks good. I mean, KS Designs designed the race car. Really cool to see online people or people from online from the NASCAR community be able to have the opportunity to create paint schemes for NASCAR Cup Series teams, especially in the fact that 95% of the paint designers that you see online are much better than the actual paint designers or the actual people that are made to design cars that you see on the racetrack. It's unbelievable. But yeah, back to Daniel Suarez. I speculated that he could potentially go to Richard Petty Motorsports because also he brings in sponsorship. He has Air/Comscope with him, so I figured, oh, that might help him go to Richard Petty Motorsports, who, let's be honest, majority of their sponsorship is leaving. They're going to go with Bubba Wallace, but it would be nice to get a driver that has some form of sponsorship, and I thought Daniel Suarez would fit right in. But to see Suarez go to the 99 team and to go to Team Trackhouse, I think this paints a potentially bigger picture. Now, the team has leased the charter from the 77 team from Spire Motorsports, so that's how they're getting their charter from. And I think it's interesting about this that Suarez went to this team because you have to understand that 2022 next gen, why would Team Trackhouse build a team 1 year before the next gen car? It wouldn't make sense to go in when you're using the current car or when you're going to be using a car that you're going to use for a long time, right? Well, I think potentially the fact that you want to get the foundation laid out. With 2021, because remember, with 2021, the final year of the Gen 6 car, more than likely you're going to see big-time teams, sell their cars or sell parts that they're not going to be able to use because they don't need to use them for 2022. So more than likely, you're going to see potentially the small teams, let's say Team Trackhouse, for example, be able to pick up the pieces or pick up some of those parts or the cars that the big teams are selling and use it to race for the remainder of the season. Remember, they're going to be aligned with Richard Childress Racing, so we could see, let's say later on in the year in 2021, let's say RCR, they're going to be selling off cars that they don't need anymore. They can just give it to Trackhouse. Trackhouse can use those cars, trick them up, upgrade them, and bring it onto the racetrack. That could be a possibility. And I think it's pretty cool when you look at the times we're living nowadays. I mean, with COVID-19 happening and the economy just slowly now starting to get back up, if we can have no more problems, to see two teams, brand new teams, come into NASCAR is a cool thing to see. I mean, there was a point in time when we wanted just one more team. There was a point in time when no new teams were in NASCAR just because it was too much, too expensive. And now you got Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin making a new team, and now you got Team Trackhouse with Justin Marks and Ty Norris making a team, especially when you consider the fact that Levi Family Racing is shutting down, Dreaming Racing having to shut down after Geico said that they would not come back with the team. It's cool, but at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet because it's like, we're leaving. I mean, we're losing two big-time teams. Levi Family Racing, Dreaming Racing have been with NASCAR for a long time and has resonated with fans for a long time as teams that they would hopefully see succeed in the future. And to see them shut down is quite sad. But at the same time, you have two brand new teams, two fresh faces coming into the sport that could offer a very interesting future in NASCAR. So you gotta take it's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's also pretty cool to see new teams come into NASCAR. Hopefully Team Trackhouse, Daniel Suarez have a good season in 2021. I can't say really for expectations, mainly because I just don't know. I think they could potentially be on the same level as maybe Starcom Racing or maybe even Front Row Motorsports. I really don't know. I don't know what their expectations are, but I do wish them well for 2021. Hopefully they can be somewhat successful and have 2021 start the groundwork, or be a season where they lay out the groundwork and begin to work towards the future in 2022 and the next gen car. But that's going to conclude this episode of Inside the Lines. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what are your thoughts on any of the 2 stories that I talked about in this episode. And until next time, my name is JettMDK, and I'll see you guys next time.